The Moon, our closest celestial neighbor, has fascinated humanity for centuries. But who actually lays claim to it? Surprisingly, the answer isn't straightforward. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty, signed by over 100 countries, including the United States and Russia, states that no nation can claim sovereignty over the Moon or any other celestial body. This means that, legally, the Moon belongs to all of humanity, not just one country. However, that hasn't stopped nations and private companies from eyeing its resources. The Moon is rich in materials like helium-3, which could potentially power future fusion reactors, and water ice, crucial for sustaining human life in space. Countries like the United States, China, and India are ramping up their lunar missions, each with their own ambitions. The U.S. aims to return astronauts to the Moon by 2024 through the Artemis program, while China has successfully landed rovers and is planning its own crewed missions. But it's not just governments that are interested. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are also setting their sights on lunar exploration. They envision mining operations and even lunar tourism. This raises questions about ownership and rights. If a company extracts resources from the Moon, who owns that resource? The Outer Space Treaty doesn't provide clear answers, leaving a gray area that could lead to conflicts in the future. In recent years, the Artemis Accords were introduced, aiming to establish norms for lunar exploration and resource utilization. These agreements encourage countries to cooperate and share information, but they also hint at a competitive spirit. As nations and corporations race to the Moon, the potential for disputes over territory and resources grows. Imagine a future where lunar bases are established and people live and work on the Moon. Who gets to decide who can build there? The legal framework surrounding space is still evolving, and as we push further into the cosmos, we'll need to navigate these complex issues. The Moon might be a shared heritage, but as we venture into this new frontier, the question of ownership and rights will become increasingly critical. So, while the Moon may not belong to anyone in a legal sense, the race to claim its resources and establish a presence is very much on. The next few decades will be pivotal in shaping how we interact with our lunar neighbor and, ultimately, how we define ownership in space.